All right, let's call this to order. Thanks, everyone, for being here. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thanks, everybody, for joining our budget workshop this evening. Tuesday, April 21st. Tonight we're going to be talking about Parks and Rec and Senior Services.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend Robert's rules and move agenda item 4, budget review, section B, senior services, to right after public comment.
Well, we're not suspending.
You were not.
Oh, we don't have to.
Just moving
Okay,
an agenda
sorry.
item, yeah.
Apologies. Without. So, do you want me to reword it or?
Reword.
Okay. Motion to move the section 4 budget review, subsection B, senior services, to the front of the agenda after public comment.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, so we will be doing senior services right after public comment, but right now we are at the portion of the meeting that is specifically set aside for comments from the public, who are asked to limit their comments to 2 minutes. Any person interested in providing public comment via email should email publicmeetings@rockyhillct.gov prior to 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting to have their public comment read into the record. Do we have anybody who would like to offer any comments this evening? Feel free to step up to the microphone, provide your name and address.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Ashish Mishra. I am resident of 41 Windy Hill Lane, Rocky Hill, Connecticut. I am here to propose addition of cricket batting cages or practice nets at the Maxwell Park in Rocky Hill. I want to sincerely appreciate the town's initiative in building the cricket pitch last year. It has been a fantastic step and is already benefiting a growing number of residents who are passionate about the sport. As the usage of the pitch has increased, one key gap has become clear. A full cricket match requires a large number of players, which limits how often the field can be used. In contrast, batting nets allows individuals or small groups, even 2 or 3 players, to practice regularly. Cricket nets are a fundamental part of the sport. They provide a safe and controlled environment for focused practice, allowing players to improve their skills through repetition without needing a full team. They also help contain balls within a defined space, making them safer for both players and other park visitors. We are seeing a steady rise in youth participation in cricket, including children's enrolled in structured training programs, as well as many recreational players across different age groups within town. There is strong and growing community interest supported by parents and local cricket enthusiasts. From a practical standpoint, batting cages are relatively cost-effective and scalable. Adding 2 to 3 nets would significantly increase the utilization of existing cricket facility, encourage more frequent community use, and further promote youth engagement, fitness, and skill development. So, as I said, this is an opportunity to build on the town's existing investment and create a more complete and accessible cricket facility for the community. And I would be happy to volunteer myself and fellow cricket parents and community members in any capacity if I could be of any help. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Do we have anybody else here to speak on behalf of anything? Do we have anything in writing?
No.
All right, last call. All right. So first up is senior services. Yes, I have his last name.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gina Marino, Director of Senior Services, which includes the Senior Center and Transportation. You're going to go through?
To start at the goals.
Can't really, okay. I can't see that.
Is your screen working?
Goals?
Is that screen working for you? Right in front of you?
No, that's not on.
It's not on?
Okay, thank you. Goals. One of my first goals was to create a welcome packet. The thought was to have one stop where people walk in, their first introduction to the town, to include programs that would be helpful to seniors. I'm in the process of working on that. It would include information on human services, library, and possibly go into voting or something else, depending on what we have available. My second goal was to work with the chamber and work on a business plan for co-sponsorships. I'm very successful with local sponsorships, different retirement communities, local businesses. We brought in $19,000 last year in co-sponsorship fees, but I feel like we're missing the boat on some of the bigger businesses that might want to contribute to the elderly. So that's the focus for that. And then I'm also working with Parks and Recreation on the Market on the Hill, which it was our first event last year. Great success. We had a lot of fun. A lot of people came, but we're going to extend the hours, maybe take more people, more vendors, to just make that a bigger community event.
I go too fast for you? I jumped right into the numbers. You can keep going,
Okay.
sorry.
The difference is here. I think the big difference is going to be part-time. If you recall, last year I had requested, 2 years ago I requested a full-time person. Last year I requested part-time. I'm trying again. I'm putting in for a part-time program coordinator. This would help us with all the different programs that we have. Right now, most of that is falling on myself, which is a little difficult because we have a lot of programs addressing 3 different generations: the 55-year-olds, the 75-year-olds, and the 95-year-olds. So you can imagine the activity levels are all different, the interests are different, and I could use some help in that area to keep our senior center as vital and active as it is right now. That is really the biggest change here. I asked for a little bit more in training because we all need to have more training, and I wanted to do more with our staff. We do have, we were lucky, we just replaced an office assistant, and we have a new office manager. Her name is Yvette Law. She is sitting in the back. You want to wave? She started a few weeks ago, and already I'm seeing the difference. She's really organizing things for us. She's learning very quickly. Some of the staff have called her the sponge because she's picking up on everything that we're doing. So that's great. I think that's the only thing in this budget that you'll see that's a little out of the ordinary.
So,
Do you have
questions? on
any
this page?
questions about it?
Yeah, I have one question, Gina, and I say this every year. I think how you run it is fantastic, and I
Thank
hear
you.
nothing but positive feedback. With the part-time request, and I think this may have come up last year, do you hope for an increase in classes, or do you see this bringing in more people, this position?
I think streamlining some of our classes. We have a wide variety right now. What we're not doing is evening programs, which will draw in the younger people, weekend programs, which is also for the working seniors. I get calls all the time from people that are still working that want to do that. And maybe it would free up my time to look at the bigger picture, where I'm dealing with a lot of day-to-day instructors, very time-consuming, arrangements for the rooms. there's a lot of things that go into having a class. So I don't see us expanding that many programs because we are doing pretty well right now. But it's just pulling things in, tightening things up, and maybe going in directions we haven't. I did have a part-time programmer who helped out a little bit who was doing music programs. She started a jam, monthly evening jam, which, not my wheelhouse, but this event went wonderfully. We did the first one last month, and we had maybe 20 people, all senior musicians, and seniors and some younger people came to listen. The one we just recently had, we probably had 40 people. So it's picking up some speed. It's those kind of programs that are a little different than the chair yoga or the bingo or the setback, trying to have something for everyone. That's the goal.
Now, my next question is fairly loaded, and I ask this to other directors too. Forget the budget for a moment. If you had a wish to incorporate some sort of service or class or something that another town has massive success with that you would like to bring here, is there something that the budget constrains you for a moment, that you can't bring something that another town has here?
Trip programs, right now we do very little. We do one trip a month. We do adventures in dining once a month. That's something that people want to go places. They want to travel. And it takes time to plan them, to have a coordinator go on them, to research where we should be going. That's one area. Another area, and I'm not sure that I really want to go this direction, but a lot of towns do programs for people that have dementia, caregiver programs. We do once a month a caregiver program. It's educational. People come in, they listen, they have a free lunch, and they get help caring for their elderly parents. I'd love to have a program where they could come for an afternoon and have someone take care of the parent, and they could go either educational programs or recreational programs, kind of like a respite. I know Glastonbury does something like that. So that would be a good program I think we're missing. We work well with our Human Services Department and refer people to them, but I feel sometimes that we could do more if I had either the proper trained person to be able to handle that.
Got it. Okay, thank you very much.
Anybody else, any other questions?
How many hours a week are you looking for the part-time person to work?
30.
You have a lot of volunteers that help out. Have you researched maybe having a volunteer help with this, alleviate some of your duties?
Well, we use volunteers for a multitude of things. Being in the office, working on the town computers, I don't think that that's really appropriate for a volunteer. And 30 hours a week, I don't think there is a volunteer who would even want to do that kind of job.
No, I wouldn't suggest
Yeah.
one person. Maybe you'd have 2 or 3 people helping out.
Then it gets fractured. Right now, if there's an issue or a problem, the staff come to me. I could, oh, that's supposed to be there, this is supposed to be there. If I can divide some of the things, this person's in charge of exercise programs. It's a clean mark, you know, there's a lot of different moving parts to offer a class, from the writing the description, contacting the instructor, setting up the room, putting it in the newsletter, following up, paying the instructor. There's a lot to it, so when you look at the volume of programs we have, it makes it difficult for one person to do all that. Believe me, we have 130 volunteers, and they are awesome. We would never be able to do what we do without our volunteers.
Great, thank you.
Well, I did want to say that I've had the pleasure of being on the senior subcommittee here and getting to hear about our programs and hear about the good work you're doing. And I've been so impressed with the variety of programs that we offer, with the outreach that we are able to do within the budget that we've got here, and frankly, your ability to wrangle in everything that's happening all at once. You have wonderful volunteers who come in more frequently than most volunteers for other types of opportunities for that, and that's a testament to the type of environment and culture you bring to this. I know that we all feel the pinch of the common reality economically right now, so I don't see anything egregious about what you're asking for here. I also know that we are in a couple places, maybe the library as well, relying on the endurance, the character, and the dedication of folks like you in order to hold these things up that are these wonderful services that we offer our residents, and frankly for you, the region. You offer the region these opportunities. So I know looking to the future, not necessarily in this budget, but you talk about programming and the need for help with that. This is a part-time ask. But realistically, with the amount of programming we're offering and what we might be in the future, even if we expand into those areas you just talked about, you'll probably need something full-time in the future, right?
Yes, that would be the ultimate goal,
Yeah.
before I die.
Yeah, no, it's good for us to like consider where we might be in a couple of years, or what we might be looking to eventually achieve here. I know transportation's tough too. Finding people to do the transportation on a part-time basis is a particularly hard ask. I mean, a full-time basis, you get benefits, you get all these things. Per diem often seems a little bit more attractive than part-time, but we do need to think about what we can do about transportation in the coming years, because this, right now, much like everything else, feels like it's running through the dedication and endurance of the individual people in the roles right now. And we don't know what will happen when there's turnover. Also, I just wanted to say hi to Yvette. It's very nice to see you. It was wonderful to meet you a couple of days ago, and I'm really excited for what you bring to the table, too.
Thank you.
Is the number of volunteers, does that stay steady, or does it ebb and flow?
We've just reached 130. We've been hovering around 100 to 120 for the last few years. I don't see it getting too much bigger than that, just because of you only can take so many volunteers for so many programs. But that's, right now, we're at our highest point.
And some of the volunteers do activities that, or things that your current part-time people would have to be doing, correct?
Yes, yeah.
And are your part-timers put in more time than they're getting paid for? Would that be fair to say?
I shouldn't be saying that, but we do have very dedicated staff. As a matter of fact, two of them are here today. Miss Charlene, who does our transportation, and Cindy, who's an office person as well as our volunteer manager. So they both are supposed to leave at a certain time, and later in the day, they are still there, whether they're talking to a customer, helping a volunteer. They just really are dedicated. I've been so fortunate to have people that are so dedicated to the cause. They love what they do, so it makes it easy.
So,
I did move it to the minibus, which you didn't touch upon, so I don't know.
Okay. Minibus, as you see, the only change in this is a $10,000 professional services added. We've been part of a tri-town grant through the state with Weathersfield and Newington. And when I came, it was COVID. So Rocky Hill was using a certain percentage of this grant, which was more than we were allotted. But because the other senior centers weren't using the money, we grabbed it. So we have continuously been using more than our share. And our share is decided by the population of the town. That's how it was divided up. So this is the first year that they're knocking on my door saying, okay, we're using our share. You need to kind of come up to what we need. We're probably going to need an extra $10,000 to $12,000 to cover the cost. Part of the reason the medical transportation is so high is we have a frailer population. They're aging in place, which is good. They're still in the community. We have quite a few people with mental health issues. So they're going to a few appointments per week to deal with anxiety or depression. So it's kind of boosted up the numbers a little bit because of this. One of the goals that I have, and I think it'll show up, is I wanted to do a fundraiser for our transportation program, and possibly reaching out to one of the service-oriented groups in town to do that.
Specifically related to the minibus, I have a couple questions for the senior center as well. But have we looked at getting like sponsors on the minibus or anything like that?
Oh, putting them on the bus?
Yeah,
The state frowns upon that. We just got audited, just, out of the blue. It's random, but we got audited, and one of the questions was, do you have anything on the outside of your bus promoting somebody else? I don't know, I've never gone there with it, but it made it sound like it wasn't something that they encouraged. That's an idea.
I know, certainly if we're receiving state funding to offset some of the costs there, they might have questions about it. But if memory serves me correctly, the Northwestern COG has a bus system that they use up there, Torrington area or whatever, and I think they sell sponsorships on their buses. It's not a lot of money, but also that's something that might help offset if we have rising costs for some of the regional things that we do. It might just be something worth looking into. The type of places that typically do that might be the same services that the people that ride on the bus might use. And so having something there, obviously, this isn't a city bus that is like constantly rolling around and you've got, some law firm plastered on the side of it or whatever. It's a little different. But also to that end, just to circle back, one of your goals was to, try to get some more sponsorship dollars from other companies as well. If you had that extra part-time position, would that person handle some of that outreach, or does that give you the ability to go and get more of that?
That'll give me more time to be out and about and securing fundraising and securing sponsors, which I'm pretty good at, but could always use some improvement if I have the time.
But also, I think we probably see this from other Parks and Rec departments too, when that if you call one place, then they'll always give you a little bit. And you don't have all day to make a ton of phone calls. Then you call the one place and you get that money, and then you're like, okay, at least we got enough for this program.
Right.
And it doesn't, if you don't have the time because you're already stretched thin, it's 8 o'clock at night, you're supposed to have already left, then, you're not making that second phone call and like getting the new vendor to also sponsor, or you're not reaching out to the new person that maybe you don't have a relationship with yet. So that's good that would assist with that and maybe offset some of the costs of the programs and stuff that we provide as well. And I know about the monthly trips that you guys go on, and those are typically you load up the bus and go to an area restaurant, right?
The Adventures in Dining are,
Yes.
yes, once a month.
So that's also a boon for our local businesses as well. When 20-some people that are definitely going to come and eat at your restaurant all come in on probably an off day. It's not
Usually
Friday
a
night.
Tuesday.
Right? It's not Friday night at
Right.
6 when they're already full. It's an off night. And so having an extra person to help coordinate that more frequently is also helpful to our local businesses. We've got 60 to 70 restaurants in town. And if you're only going one per month, that leaves 48 to 58 people out of the loop. And then lastly, you talked about hoping to offer more like caregiver services. So if somebody doesn't get that help as a caregiver for an elderly loved one, where would they get that help?
There might be
Typically.
state help for them. A lot depends on their income, but that might be something. We are actually starting a new program with NCAAA, the Area Agency on Aging, in June, where they're going to have 2.5 hours of office hours here once a month to help seniors fill out their forms, find out what services are they qualify for. So I think that will help, bringing somebody like that into the building where they don't have to try to get on the phone with someone. The face-to-face is always better with the elderly than on phone or online. And the thought of that is just to give them a little bit of respite, just to give the caregiver, they can talk to other people their own age. They can have coffee and kind of release some of the tension of being a caregiver, because it's very difficult to do. If any of you have ever done it, it's hard.
Anything else from anybody?
Mona, a quick question. I see the 10,000 that we added, and then I also see vehicle parts went up,
Yes, it did.
from 3,000 up to 12. We don't have the percentage jump on that 10,000. Is that because it's a 100% jump?
It is.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, I
Is-
think
does it
ClearGov
flow
doesn't
up to
like
the-
calculating on zeros. I think Gina and I had talked about that. So, yes,
Okay,
it is.
that's
It's
why it's that
100%.
way, okay. And then the 11.9 would be inclusive of that increase then?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Doing a great job, Gina. but-
What happened with the vehicle parts, Mona? Why have they jumped?
Yeah, they just had one major repair this year. It was on one of the older buses, actually. It was an engine replacement prior to the new bus coming online. So we're hoping that won't occur again, although you do have
Yeah,
some.
we do have one in the shop right now, so.
Hoping not for a $15,000 cost, but
Oh,
we'll see.
let's hope. Keep your fingers crossed. Then we'll be doing a different fundraiser.
Consider this a town council order not to have any of your vehicles break down from here on out.
Question, so when something like that happens, we have our town garage, do they typically fix it? Unless it's like a transmission or an
Right,
entire
like an
motor
engine
rebuild or something?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
they are actually asking for the rotary lift. They have one, so if one is up, like they've got a highway truck up, then the bus will go out. But they usually do everything, or try to do most in-house.
So like that expense that came in this year that ran so far over budget, that was a job that probably wasn't in-house?
Definitely not in-house. It was sent out to a company. I won't name, but yes, it was sent out.
Okay.
And presumably, that repair would extend the life of the minibus.
Hopefully, yes.
Purchasing a new one would be a lot more than
Yeah, well, we just
yeah,
got one
I
through
know
a
we did.
grant, so we're good. We now have 4 vehicles. Right now, well, we're back down to 3 vehicles. We had one in the shop. We had one in the shop for a while that had a heater issue. That's how long it's been in the shop, since like February.
Since it was cold.
And it's a 2019, but for some reason, they're having a difficult time finding that heater. They don't make it anymore. So they've reached out to several different companies to replace it. They've tried a few different heaters, and they're not being replaced. So today, the drivers picked up the van without the heater because we don't need it. Not for now, anyways. We need the van. We're short a van. We used one of the pool cars just today and yesterday because we were without the third van. And many days we need all 3 drivers. So
I've seen them all lined up before,
Yeah.
right around lunchtime, yep. Great. All right, thank you, Gina.
is that it?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
Have
you.
a good night.
All right. Next, we have parks.
And facilities.
Okay, well, parks and facilities. First of all, parks.
Good evening, everyone. Craig Bowman, Parks and Recreation Director. Gonna have to try and stay on task here. My son just threw his first complete game in a high school game, and they won. So I'm pretty fired up right now, yeah. I'm like, all right, I gotta lock in right now. Little hard right now. So, I guess for an introduction, I think it's important for us to understand the value of Parks and Recreation in a community. I believe that people move to towns, they come to towns to enjoy two things I think are most important: schools and parks. And I think it's our job as a department to put as many smiles on people's faces, whether it's through programming to all ages or the facilities, the playgrounds, the fields, to try and affect as many age groups, all walks of life in a positive way. So I think that's kind of the plug for our department. We're trying to put as many smiles on people's faces in town on a daily basis throughout the year. Talk about a couple of goals. On the parks end of things, should I just tackle these all together and then we can go separately?
You, or
Is
if you
that
wanna
what you
just
guys want to do? Okay.
Highlight.
Again, we want to continue to plant trees throughout town. Last year, I believe we planted, I think it was close to 15 to 20. With how many trees get taken down throughout the year in weather emergencies or through old, aged trees, it's important to build that back up. We do want to build some outdoor volleyball areas at least one of our parks to start off. It's definitely a growing trend. We've actually gotten a lot of feedback about doing some drop-in volleyball programming at the community center at night. So now it's about finding the time and the space to do it. But at the very least, if we could put something outdoors, that will alleviate some issues for a couple months throughout the year. We would like to add security cameras to Ferry and Elmridge Park. We're actually in the process of doing that at Ferry Park as we speak, and they're about to be turned over to our department. But having security cameras at Elmridge Park would be huge. Obviously, it's the most popular park we have in our town. We have people that come there from all over, not just Rocky Hill, but we have people that come to enjoy the dog park on a daily basis throughout the year. And I think it's important that we put some eyes on that park at all times. Moving over to aquatics, we're looking to create and distribute some promotional video for our aquatic programs. We do have a new staff member in place. She's very talented with social media, Nancy Glenn. She's fantastic. And I would like to utilize some of her strengths as far as promoting what we have to offer, as well as growing some of our aquatics programming. And again, that talks about expanding our water aerobics programming. We want to do some more offerings. We're looking to put together an adult cricket tennis ball league to play throughout the summer at Maxwell Park. We are also working with Gina, I think she already mentioned it, to grow our Market on the Hill, which was our first year hosting this indoor winter market. It was a big success. We always work well with Gina when it comes to these things. And we collaborate well together because we have a lot of similar contacts and vendors that we use throughout the year on events. We do want to reintroduce some more pre-K drop-in programs. And we also want to collaborate with BOE on creating more teen programs. That is easily, not just in Rocky Hill, but nationwide, one of the hardest groups of people to program for. There's a lot of distractions at that age, so we're looking to team up with them to do some. We're talking about maybe working on an 8th grade formal here at the community center, doing some different things for them. And then last but not least, increasing. We always want to try and increase our pool attendance numbers. So both indoor and outdoor, and I want to be able to do that using one of the goals above, which was the promotional video for our aquatic facilities. If we want to move into parks, I'm still getting used to this software program. I'm used to looking at the old Excel sheets.
Oh dear, would you like to see your budget now, sir?
Yeah.
Here we go.
So I think if we go through here, our parks, we've kept pretty flat. We did have some cutbacks last year. We didn't ask for more in those line items. I believe that was it was one of the, no, go down. Yeah, it was field maintenance supplies. We went down this year. We are going to be pretty close to expending this entire budget. And I think as many of you know, but some of you are new on the council, usually when it gets to this time of year, a lot of our purchasing takes place to get ready for the summertime. So the only increases I think were really in full-time salaries, which was due to union wage increases per the contract, and then some additional funds for part-time salaries just to try and help combat the minimum wage increase. Other than that, there is pretty much all zeros across the board for this particular budget. I don't know if anyone has any questions for this, or or if we want to do it at the end. It doesn't matter. Maybe we'll do it this way, parks first.
This looks pretty good to me.
Okay.
2.4%. I mean, cost of living increase, less than that at this point. Way less.
Yeah.
So, congratulations.
Trying.
Yeah, you always are, so we are good.
No, I just want to give you credit too. You've been trying to budget for this mini excavator for the last couple of years. It's been in and out, and I just want to thank you for using some of your special revenue funds to not create, I don't want to say a burden on the taxpayers, but you found a way to get your mini excavator without putting it in your budget this year. So thank you for your creative thinking and usefulness of some of that money. So I want to give you a lot of credit for that. One thing I noticed, I don't know what this New England turf management is. It was 32,000, then went down to 7,200.
No, so just so you guys know, this is the way we put this in this year. It was just a whole line item number last year, but this year we itemized all of the expenses for each line item. So that was a collective total of the service contracts for like 3 or 4 different companies there. So New England Turf is not 32,000.
No.
Oh dear, we'd be in trouble. Yeah.
It's mostly cemetery.
Just was unusual there.
Yeah, so.
Thanks for the explanation.
Yeah, so those are the true expenses. New England Turf Management, which is, our annual turf maintenance we do on our turf fields at McVicker, at the high school, as well as the Miracle Field at Elmridge Park. We do 2 groomings and cleanings a year on those particular fields. Plus, we have to do GMAX testing, which is impact testing to make sure that the turf is safe from head impact and to make sure it's, safely playable.
What was your budgeted for the tree care?
So tree care, we held at 50. Currently, we've spent about 2/3 of that. We are not over on that right now. Fingers crossed. We got like 2 months left. So I know there is a bill in the hopper for a recent tree that got entangled up into some data and power lines on Dividend Road last weekend for an emergency tree call, which was between 3,000 and 4,000, but we're still above water in that line item so far.
Do you work with Highway to do some of those jobs? Or
Yes.
Is there a possibility to do that?
Yes, we do. We have asked them to help us out with a couple of areas. If it's low-hanging fruit areas, easier trees to remove. You know, like, for example, the one last weekend, it was in power lines. That's a no-no. We got to get to the specialist for that one.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep.
At one point, Craig, was there a talk about an automatic liner?
Oh, that's
think that's
coming
in-
up in CIP.
I think that's in the capital improvements
Yep,
Okay.
portion.
you can talk about it now if you want.
But we can ask about it now if we like.
Just curious. For your, sorry, oh boy. For your action item, it's a progress 40% increase. That's volleyball, basketball, cricket league. And then performance, it says only enrollment, soccer and basketball. So who is running the cricket, who is running the volleyball, what it is about? Just curious.
Most of those would be things that are done in-house by us, set up by us in-house. We do have a position that we are looking to fill here pretty soon, full-time position that would be handling some of that stuff. So,
So right now you're handling it or somebody
oh,
else?
me, yeah.
All you?
Yeah, you see the bags under my eyes? Yeah.
So I think 2023, we thought about, doing something, whole cricket field.
Yeah.
Like a full cricket field. Right now, it's not full cricket field.
Yeah.
What happened for 3 years?
There's nowhere to put a full cricket field.
Whole town?
On Rocky Hill, town-owned land, there is nowhere to put a full-size cricket field without compromising other fields.
Okay, thank you.
So like if you wanted to put one at Sunnycrest, sure, we could put one at Sunnycrest. We don't have a baseball field and a soccer field now. So we added a field, but we lost two. It's a net -1.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah, I mean,
Is there any way we can do that or no? For you, no.
Craig, how much land do you need for a full size?
ideally, it's a full-size cricket field. Ideally, you would want 460 feet. You know, like a oval or a circle. It's like 460 feet across this way. That's a big chunk of land. That's like it's like a Major League Baseball field, basically, but bigger. Well, if you include foul territory, it's about the size of a Major League Baseball field. Now, that's if you were going to host like an Olympic cricket match or something like that. You can get away with, you know, a smaller size, maybe 400 feet if you wanted to, because the pitch is actually in the middle of the field. So you're looking at, you know, 200 feet this way, 200 feet that way, 200 feet to the right, 200 feet to the left. It's a lot of space. Definitely something I'm willing to.
But Greg, that's only for the summer.
I mean, how many times have I gone to Ray's office and we've, you know, we're perusing the Google Maps to see if there's any patch of land that we can find. How many times have we done that?
Everyone we find is like this.
So, all for it. All for it. Love it. What's that?
The whole cricket field.
Yeah, but again, I've already like gone on public record saying that, like that's now you lose a baseball field and a soccer field. So what's the point of that? What's the point of adding a field when you lose two? That's we could do that, but there's going to be a lot of people affected. There's going to be a lot of people affected
But
by it.
cricket is not playing by only Indians. They are playing so many countries now playing.
Oh, that's,
And the
I know
whole
that.
town is like that.
I understand that.
My question is still there, you know. the cricket is only for the summer. We cannot play in winter. Same thing with baseball. Why can't we just make it out that, 1 week they play, next week they play? You're going to hire somebody full-time, you said,
Yeah?
to look at it, this one. They cannot figure this one out? Casual?
The full-timer is a replacement.
Yeah, the full-timer's a
Yeah, that's a
replacement for a
replacing of an
vacant position right
existing
now. Yeah.
position.
But still, when you do the cricket league, you can get so many people, so many leagues right now, Go to Hartford, look at the Kenny Park.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Keeney Park. I'm familiar with, there's a park up in East Hartford on the river. I've visited some sites in Cheshire. I've visited sites in New Haven. There's definitely, there's definitely areas that they can play. South Windsor has a nice cricket ground too.
Can a field set up for cricket, is it different materials? Like, that area still be used? I mean, like, I know, I grew up in a town that had a soccer field that part of it was the baseball diamond. You're running on
Yes.
dirt half the time.
So ideally, cricket is played, the pitch is clay.
Yeah.
It's a clay pitch, and it's about 110 feet because you need a run up on either side. And it's about 10 feet wide. So
And that's in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
like,
say, and it's
if
in the
we
middle
put
of the
that
field.
at Sunnycrest, it would be right in center field of a baseball game, or it would be going right through the middle of a 11v11 soccer.
So you couldn't obviously carry on the same games at the same time. But if you weren't playing on the baseball field, you couldn't have a cricket pitch in the middle of it. I mean, they can't overlap. You can't have a diamond on one corner.
The problem would be you would have a center fielder, okay, who is tracking down a fly ball, and then they're going up on a cricket pitch to go field the ball.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
You'd have to have.
Safe.
In other words, it just doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work like that. And I'll be 100% truthful. I'd rather have a dedicated cricket pitch that is played on from March or April 1st to November 1st. We just don't have an area of land right now that we're able to do that. We don't have that. We're landlocked in that regard unless we go in some open space somewhere and start chopping trees down and ripping stumps.
don't want to do that.
All right, John and Fran, you guys get on that with the open space.
Still, Maxwell, on the Maxwell also, it's not a cricket. That pitch is not a cricket. We created it or somebody else created it.
It's a youth cricket
The youth cricket.
pitch.
They use it as a cricket.
Youth cricket and adults can use it for tennis ball cricket.
That's the tennis ball cricket.
For tennis ball, adults can use, yes.
So right now, you play soccer on that field too.
Yes, they play soccer on
You
that.
play soccer on too. It's the same
But
thing.
but it's around the pitch. The pitch does not interfere with the field. So the pitch is in the middle of that field. We've been able to modify a small soccer field that
Doesn't overlap.
but it's pretty darn close.
But that's for like little kids, not adults.
Yeah, it's more what, the soccer or the
The soccer.
the soccer, that would be for like 7 and 8 year olds.
It's the one, that-
Yeah.
So both are for kids. None of them are full-size adult,
No.
fields.
So you are running the cricket league or somebody else is running the cricket league?
We have not actually set the league up yet because I don't have a full-time person to do that yet, which will be happening soon. But it would be run through our department, and we would hope to have a league coordinator that would help with scheduling. And then the field would be available for usage for this league a couple nights a week, and then the youth a couple days a week, and split it up that way. and let them play under the lights at Maxwell.
There is no tournament we can develop there. There is no tournament we can develop there. Just like tournament, you know?
Tournament?
Yeah. Cricket tournament is always there, you know?
Who? I'm having to
A
understand.
tournament, can you have tournaments up there?
You could have a tournament there.
With the tennis ball?
If there's an adult tennis ball league, I don't see why you couldn't have a tournament.
Okay.
I have a question. This gentleman here asked for cages for cricket. Is that does that instill something different from another type of batting cage? Could it be a shared batting cage?
Sure.
I don't know the answer to that.
Well, can it be? You need do you need a hard surface inside of it? And by the way, the batting cages we have in town were done by the organizations,
Yes,
paid for by
by Little League.
donations from Little
Yeah.
League.
I think it's a good request, and I think it's definitely a viable request. I think, if you're having kids that are playing there or practicing there, you can get more people getting or doing activities if there's another place where they can hit while people are practicing fielding or doing. I've coached for 25 years. Like, the more people you can get doing something and being active, the better. So it's definitely a good idea. As far as the location of it, we'd have to find a good location for that.
Craig and I will be looking at Google Maps tomorrow morning.
Sounds like it.
Yes.
I love that part.
I just didn't know, like, if there was a chance to get
Okay. Yeah, you
cricket
know.
batting cages, if they can be potentially used for other sports. Yeah.
I understand.
We do, right now, we have a lot of, the high school, two high school fields were paid for by the town. But the other ones at Elmridge and
We're fundraised
they
through
were
Little
all
League.
done by the organizations at their expense. And we also have one happening down at Elmridge with potentially that indoor, right? Again, fully funded by the organizations and/or grants.
Correct.
So when they came to us and do it, and again, if the field is at Maxwell Park, where, to Craig's point, you can practice on the field and have people hitting in the cage, that would be great. I just don't know if Maxwell Park, with the
I'd have to
wetness-
find, we'd have
Yeah.
to look and see
Yeah.
if there's an area to do that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of, you'd
But in
have
the
to make
past,
sure
yeah.
you would do it in an area that is not in a field of play and it doesn't interfere into the field of play.
Right.
That's really ultimately.
The town's been very supportive with the ground and the excavation, where you borrow or you lend the services of the excavation, and then you put stone dust and all that's worked,
Yeah.
from you guys. But then the actual netting, the replacement of the netting, the fencing has all been,
And I think for something like that, you'd probably want to pour a pad
I think you have to.
and you'd want to have, post anchored, sleeved into the ground, netting hooked up to it that you can pull down in the winter time.
To preserve
You'd
it.
want to have enough of a runway so that a pitcher can actually practice inside. And then you'd want to have, some kind of a,
Is it longer? It must be, 'cause.
It's long.
Yeah, because
It's long.
baseball, you just need 75
It's
feet.
22
yeah,
yards.
it's long.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a 110, right?
With the run-up, yeah.
You need a run-up for that.
You might not need 110 for something like that
So,
because
I mean,
you
how
only
many-
need
how
one
many-
side.
How many cages we are talking about? Like one or two maximum, right? Really, one will do probably.
I've had a couple email communications with Ashish, but we haven't gone too deep into the weeds on how big. I would think you'd want maybe two lanes, at least so you can go either way. Because at that point, all you're talking about is just some extra width and concrete. But it's like, where do you put it? And how is it not in a field of play?
Or
How
blocking
close is it to a
benches
walkway?
or whatever,
Yeah, how
right.
close is it to a walkway? Can it be accessed? There's a lot of
Yeah.
little variables that we'd have to iron out.
But it looks like, Craig, it's feasible.
It's feasible.
Yeah, I mean, we can
Yeah.
take a look at it,
Yeah,
basically.
we could look, for sure.
All right. So in a nutshell, something that's feasible, we would need to see if there's a location that would work for it. And the precedent has been that the leagues have kind of funded that, themselves.
Correct.
All right. If we don't have any other questions around grounds, let's move to organized activities.
All right. Again, there was we asked for a small increase in full-time salaries, but it's not gonna actually meet that number. It'll be lower than that. Once we have a new hire that starts, they won't start at the step that the previous person was, so that'll be lower, just so everyone knows. We asked for a little bit more money in program fees for, I believe it's, we added $1,000 to help out with Market on the Hill to make it a bigger event, to cover staffing costs and possible entertainment during the event. And then we did add a little bit of money on for the Camp Sunrise bus rental fee because that fee has gone up for the daily transportation to Camp Sunrise. But other than that, the only other thing that you guys will notice is the printing line item. So that is, we asked for 12,000 there because that is the true cost of what it costs for us to design and print a couple hundred copies of our brochure for 3 seasons. So just so everyone knows, when I first started 7 years ago, we had $25,000 in that line item. And we've cut that all the way back in half because we stopped sending brochures to every household in the town. We stopped doing that because we wanted to make it more digital. So now we've gone from 4 to 3. We've combined our winter spring brochure, and we have, we do print a couple hundred copies for each brochure to hand out, to hand out at our office. Actually, I dropped some of those off to you guys. We could do the math. You might owe me a couple bucks each.
You want it back?
Give it back.
Yeah. No, so we put those all in prominent locations throughout town. Or if someone calls and they're like, hey, I can't drive, I can't get there, we'll send it to them in the mail. We give them to the schools so that they're in prominent locations. So, but it truly costs $12,000. So that is not a made-up number. The line item was cut back to 10 last year. I don't know why. That's how much it costs, and you can see how much it costs. It was $11,995 last year. So, other than that, it's going to be smaller than probably less than a 3% increase for this budget.
Craig, just one quick question.
Sure.
The concert subsidy, is that just because ticket sales aren't
We don't-
subsidizing?
We don't sell tickets to concerts.
So this is just paying for the bands and?
So that line item for concerts, that probably pays for maybe half of what they actually cost. We do go out and secure sponsors to cover the other half. So like that does not cover all of our costs for concerts.
Why don't you sell tickets?
Because it'd be impossible. You pay more to try and lock down the place and pay staff. And it's never been it's a free event.
Yeah.
Those are the concerts at the park.
Yeah, okay.
Change the whole vibe.
I think that was 3
I don't think
bands.
people would come if they had to pay.
Well, if you had like Hartford Symphony Orchestra.
Well, if you had if we were talking about a big name act, of course, we would, but there's a lot of lockdowns.
You'd have to gate it off.
You'd have to
you
gate it.
got-
You need
I
temp
mean,
fencing everywhere.
People can
you'd-
walk through
You'd
from the
quadruple
park on
your
the
staff.
side.
The police costs would be more. It's just
So spots on your lawn if you live across the street from the park.
correct.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
So I have a question. I know last year there wasn't enough coaches for, I think it was soccer, and you hired the futsal coaches.
Mm-hmm.
How did you,
That was paid for through all the user fees,
okay,
not through the general fund.
okay.
Yep.
I see under the special revenue that's associated with programs, I think it comes up as like 400 and something.
Yeah, you're about
406,
400. Yes.
something like that.
Yep.
So if you had to, if this whole portion of the budget, organized activities, has a budget of 325, and the revenue coming in is 406, this doesn't include aquatic. I'm sure there's something else that I'm not thinking of that's not included in there. but-
That 406 number you're talking about is not indicative of, like, that's a couple of different special revenue line items
Okay.
that we
You
have.
want me to
Yeah, you can chime in.
What I'm just getting at is,
include the senior activities? They're kind of
Okay.
grouped together as fees. I think that's the only thing you wouldn't be able to do is fund a full-time salary under a special revenue, because you can't do fees for full-time.
well, basically just what I'm trying to get at is, does the money that Parks and Rec bring in, for the most part, pay for most of the activities that we're putting out anyway? The concert, the hop around the hill, and we sell sponsorships and all of that stuff. I mean, what is the delta between the amount that we bring in and the amount that we put out? I mean, obviously, there's value for the community in having free concerts and for various services, but what is that gap, I guess?
That's
Or can
a
we
loaded
quantify
question.
it? Or can we quantify
That's a
it?
completely loaded question. One thing I will say, just so you guys understand, is that our summer skate program, we don't ask for a dime from the taxpayers. That's all covered through user fees. We're trying to hold the line so we're not charging customers more because the state keeps increasing the minimum wage. And we are constantly fighting that. And I'm trying to hold prices at least every 2 years and account for those minimum wages. So those are things that don't get accounted for that we cover completely through our special revenue budget. All of our swim lessons.
That's
covered-
all, yeah, that
covered
stuff is
through
all
it.
offset.
Yeah, like
Camp counselors and all
camp,
that.
that's all covered out of that account. So like, even though you see like a number that says 400,000, 407, whatever, 425,
Yeah.
a lot of that is through user fees that have been paid now, but they're gonna come out in July through August when we're actually running the program and paying for our instructors, paying for our entertainment and stuff. So that's a very loaded question and not something I would be willing to answer right now.
Yeah.
But
One of the other services that we've talked about a little bit, at least also like with the Board of Ed, is doing some of the after-school programs, like
Yep.
bringing that in-house.
Yep.
Can you talk about like how that might work, or
Sure.
is that something that we're still looking at doing?
it's something we're looking at doing. It's not something that we could incorporate next school year. We don't have enough time to do that without someone that can fully put that together. The good news is we have written that into the job description for our open position, and I have been conducting interviews over the last 2 weeks with candidates that have significant experience with before and after school programming. But just to give you guys an idea of how that would work is people who would be interested in it, we would start it at the 2 schools, West Hill and Stevens. And those programs we would want to run them similarly to the existing company that provides that service, but we would put our own spin on it. And the way that works is it's usually monthly payment installments for that service. And it would be an everyday aftercare program or before care program.
And you would time it with the school year.
Correct.
So
Correct. It would
right
be
now
exactly
we're-
on the school schedule. My hope would be that we could attract staff that would be able to work year-round, not only in the schools, but in our summer programs as well. And we could have almost like a feeder program for summer camp or for before and after care program. There's a bit of research that needs to be put into it. I wouldn't want to run it exactly like the existing program. I think we could run it better. And
potentially do it at a lower cost for the
Potentially.
parents.
Correct.
You know, that right now there's, monies in there that
Yep.
have to cover things that don't have anything to do with us.
Yeah, like building rental costs and stuff
Right,
like
and
that.
things like
Correct.
that, and
Yep.
so, okay.
Yep.
But obviously, it's gonna be the next school year before we know it. So trying to ramp that up before, like, August is impossible.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
Is it really impossible? I mean, is something we can focus on? I mean, is it because of this position?
Yes.
So if you hired somebody like.
This is not a,
by the end of the month.
I will go on record and say I do not feel comfortable doing it, starting it next school year without,
This was a big,
I think it would be
push that
feasible
we
for
wanted to get done.
next year?
yes, yes, absolutely. And I've had that discussion with Dr. Zito. And he's fully in support.
Just so I'm a little bit more in on this, the Board of Ed doesn't run it, we outsource it,
Yes.
but we don't pay a fee, we don't incur a fee for outsourcing.
Correct.
No.
YMCA or YWCA pays a fee to the Board of Ed to rent the building out.
Right.
The YWCA charges the parents
Yeah.
of the children in the schools that want the service. The idea would be for us to potentially do that in lieu of,
More cost efficient,
yes, community partner.
pay for itself,
We are joint users of buildings,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we're going to revisit this.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so you said you already spoke to Dr. Zito?
I spoke to Dr. Zito about this, yep,
When was this?
within the last couple of weeks.
All right.
The timeline's not, it's not feasible.
It was,
right now.
and it's affected by this vacancy.
Correct.
It would have been different if we didn't have a vacancy in that.
Correct.
The role of the person that would do that. Last thing, we've got the, at least for me, the bus rental part that you mentioned for Camp Sunrise.
Yep.
So we don't use any of our own
No.
bus stuff
No,
for
it's
that. so-
contracted out. And the buses, Camp Sunrise is a program, an adaptive program that we have for students who might not, or kids who might not function as great in our everyday summer camp. And they go to Glastonbury to Camp Sunrise for this program. And yeah.
And we have a contract with the bus company to help.
Yep,
with
and
that.
it just, the cost per day went up a little bit, so.
How,
All right.
that's, do the students have to pay for that, or the campers, whatever?
Yes,
So.
They
but
pay
we-
for
but
the
we do
fee.
subsidize.
yeah, we do help, yep.
You keep referring to a position that needs to get filled. did we lose somebody, or they left us, or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How long ago was that?
A couple months ago. So, looking to
Is it,
move forward.
are you just refilling that position?
Yep.
Or you're creating a new one?
No, that position.
Want to talk a little bit about aquatics?
Sure.
Oops.
Let's see here. It looks like a large increase. The only ones that really went up though are maintenance costs for the pool. We needed some diving board maintenance. The startup cost for the outdoor pool is just a little bit more expensive this year. I think we asked for $2,000 more there. And then training stayed the same. Oh, it's part-time salaries driven. So essentially, this is just to help offset the cost of the minimum wage increases. So another one where we're kind of battling it. We were able to hold it pretty close last year. I mean, as you guys could see, we spent almost all $165,000 last year. And then there was another minimum wage increase that went into effect. So this is based off our calculations for the minimum wage increase to help offset that coverage.
Do we have a solution figured out for the pool yet at Elmridge? Like, is
That's the most loaded question of the night.
Okay. I guess I came loaded with questions today, but we've got because we have some rising maintenance costs and things like that. Is that?
I mean, my suggestion would be to have that as a separate item where Craig did a, what do you call it, a couple of years ago.
You did a survey, yeah.
And the residents put down the criteria for remediation for the pool, from brand new to filling, cracks or whatever. I think that could be a separate discussion that we need to start planning for, because this has been on the books for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
We have $750,000 allotted over 3 years in our capital improvement right now. So there's some
And that
planning.
that actually
May
should
not.
have begun, well, it did begin like 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and then it stopped.
I know, that's not gonna be enough to do whatever we need
Yeah.
to do either.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think that's a totally separate
Yeah.
council item.
All right, my question was just in terms of, what we're seeing for maintenance in this year, and, are we gonna fall off a cliff next year based on, where we're currently at? That's all.
Yeah, I mean, my question would be, and that's really good. From your perspective, with the Elmridge Pool continuing to do what we've been doing the past couple of years with just, putting in gaps, how long do you think this could continue without something major?
Loaded.
I
Well, I mean,
I can't answer that.
We've
I
been kicking the
just
can for so long.
I just
mean,
caution everyone, it's a 60-year-old facility.
Yeah.
So, a 60-year-old facility can only, it's an aging facility. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like,
Have you seen other towns, like Glastonbury, for example? I think they did theirs 5 years ago. Do towns apply for grants for this type of project?
I think sometimes they might be able to get steep grants for things like this. I know that Wallingford actually just did one. Pool, splash pad, a renovated or updated building, and it came in around 10.5.
Steep grants are very limited,
They are.
and you have to expend them within the 3-year period.
But I do know that, I don't know what Wallingford's funding source was for that project. I think it might have been locally bonded, but it was around 10.5. I spoke to the director a month ago about it. And Simsbury's looked into a similar renovation as well.
Any other aquatic questions?
You did have your capital painter item
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
about that one. Sorry. Open the wrong place.
Where's that?
Yes, so on capital improvement for parks, I know we've got the list of
235.
everything. I'm gonna zero in just on the new item. This one is that's a repeat. And we have the new item, the robotic field painter, 46,950 in CIP. So if you want to talk about that one, Craig.
Sure. So this is a bit of a newer technology that has been adopted by a couple towns around us, Newington, Berlin, Cromwell. It's a field painting machine that it's basically an automatic machine. So I could go up to, so, you know, we don't mark our fields, we don't paint our fields all year. We paint them usually in the spring, and then like soccer fields in the summer when soccer dies down a little bit before the fall season. We don't mark them, and then we remark them in the fall. This machine is run off of GPS coordinates, and you can literally go to a field, put it in the corner where you want it, punch in what you want to do. I want to do a 9v9 field, blah, blah, blah. Hit it. It will paint a field in 22 minutes and mark your field for the year. Now, normally, if I'm going to mark out a field for the year, that's going to cost us, or it's going to have probably 3 or 4 guys, and it's going to take a couple of hours just to mark it, and that's not even paint it, because you have to do all the line measurements and everything else. This will do it in 22 minutes. We've had Berlin
has one.
Huh?
You had mentioned Berlin had one.
Berlin has one, yep. They've actually come and demoed it for us last year. When we went at Maxwell last year and we took the 11v11 field, which runs north-south, and we put 2 east-west 7x7 fields, it did that in about 40 minutes. And that we had never put those lines down before, ever. Another thing with this machine is it's not a high-pressure sprayer. So what happens is, over the years, when you have a high-pressure sprayer, the paint comes down and it eventually beats the field, and to your point where your lines almost make an indentation in the field. So last year we actually had a company, Championship Turf, come out and core aerate all of our soccer lines on like 3 of our fields to break it up and regrow the grass and level everything out, put in topsoil, level everything out, because over the years it had just gotten beaten down by the high pressure paint. This is more of a low pressure spray, so it's like 2 parts to 1. So it's low pressure, and I don't want to put a number on it because I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it should save in paint costs. One of the salesmen told me it's saved one town up to 50% of their paint costs.
Do you have an idea what the paint costs are?
About $95 a gallon, or for a 5-gallon.
But on a yearly basis?
Yeah, I had it in my budget. I think we.
Did you?
Yeah, I know we just.
I mean, is it like 10 grand?
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 grand. Okay.
Yeah.
So
But even if it was 7,
No,
you know, like,
the man hours. is
yeah,
the
it's
right.
it is also man
Can
hours
we
too.
take away the part-time worker?
$5,800, that's how much our paint costs are.
Still have to pay the person that would be doing it.
$5,800.
Well, yeah, but at least it's one person that marks it out,
Ah, yeah.
essentially.
Versus the three.
These things are unbelievable. They're,
So,
One thing, I'm sorry, Mayor, Craig had done a presentation in front of Finance a couple of months ago. And one of the questions I had was, well, if Berlin has it and we're talking about efficiency, why can't we just borrow Berlin's periodically?
That's what I was gonna ask.
And Craig had the direct answer that when they're using it, we need to use it. So at that particular time, it's not like something that they're using it and it sits in the shed for a month or two so somebody else can use it. It's really the peak time that they have it, we'll need it too. So that's why, if I stated that
yeah,
correctly.
you know, they've done us a favor. Like they went and demoed it for us and showed us how to do it. It's a pretty cool unit, and there's 2 or 3 different companies really that are in the market for it.
how many fields do we have that require painting?
Ooh, I mean, we have
10?
We take care of about 19 or 20 fields. I think in the fall season, I believe there's like 11 soccer fields. Plus, we have the McVicker. We paint McVicker football lines. We paint football lines, and it's not just one field. Like even right now, at Auxiliary 2 at the high school, there's soccer lines on it, and there's lacrosse lines on it. So there's 2 different sets of lines on it. So you could say it's a field, but it's really like 2 or 3 fields because you got boys lacrosse, girls lacrosse, and soccer on it, and they're all different colors.
So, and I appreciate that when it's the beginning of football season for us, it's the beginning of football season for them too. It's the beginning of the same. The seasons are all the same. But if it does the job in 22 minutes, and there's 19 fields or 20 fields or whatever, that's 7 hours or something like that. I mean, we're still saving even if we rent it from them. Even if we rent it from another town, let's give them 10 grand and use theirs for, 2 days. I realize it's not that easy, but that does seem like a piece of equipment that is,
Well, the lines,
shareable.
the lines grow out. I mean,
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, how long
If there's
does
heavy
the
rain,
line?
presumably you'd have to go and redo all the fields.
Well, even the
Yeah, but
cutting.
we have to do that anyways.
But I'm saying this
you
would do
got
it
the-
faster.
I
than
guess the
if you
question,
had
how
some
often do you line the fields? Like, how often do you line a soccer field? Weekly or
Yeah.
bi-weekly? Okay, so it's not.
it's not like the beginning of the season
Right,
that's done.
right.
Yeah, it's.
And you can't use it on baseball and softball, or it's not
You could do a
efficient.
foul line on baseball, softball.
Oh, that's a
They
long
actually
line.
have they have machines. There's a machine that will do
The batters.
the batter's,
Batter's
box.
box and like
that's
the
$100 grand,
pitching
Dave.
mound circle.
No, it's
Don't go
it's
there.
not. It's not.
No,
So-
but the
Have
same
you seen those
machine-
things? Have you seen them
No,
do it?
I have not.
They-
I know
all
Walt has
the
spoken
they
very
that's what
highly.
they do for all the major league stadiums now too. It's all robotic.
Yeah.
Takes them like 8 minutes to do a batter's box, and it might even be less than that.
But I think the other question is how long a typical machine lasts.
So that's a good question. The rep I spoke to from Swazi, he thinks anywhere from 10 to 12 years if you're doing the proper maintenance on it. If you know how our garage operates, we've got ZTRs from 2006 that are still in our fleet. Like, we take care of our equipment, we clean our equipment every day. The other thing with this piece of machinery, it's battery powered. It's not. There's no belts. There's no gas. It's electric.
So you would, ultimately, like in a nutshell, investing in this saves us money in man hours and potentially even paint over time.
Correct.
Especially if you divide out 46.
If you did it over 10 years, 10, 12 years, you're looking at less than $5,000 a year for something like this.
would you be able to quantify, like last year, how many hours did it cost to paint, and how much was the paint?
Now you're on the spot.
None of this one.
No, I mean, could you, and then,
It's
like,
50.
email Ray with an estimation?
Sure.
Dave?
The paint, what, is 5,800?
5,800 bucks a year,
Yeah.
sounds like, so.
But it's the hours. I'm trying to get to a point where if it's $5,000 a year for this robot, on average, over 10 years,
Yeah.
are we saving 6 in man-hours and 50% paint?
We're probably saving 3,000 in the paint.
Yeah, if we
Is a
split it in half,
guesstimate,
that's about.
You know, so, and do the man-hours get utilized somewhere else too? I mean, I think you'll do more stuff, right? You know, maybe you have less
Yeah.
overtime, I don't know. Would that impact, well, part-timers work overtime, no?
It wouldn't be overtime.
No.
But you can't have a part-timer run this. You're having one of
No,
your
I have a
trained guys.
full-timer.
Yeah,
I have a full-timer
full-timers.
in charge of this.
Right.
Forgot to
I'm just trying
mention,
to see, like, you're asking, where do we save the money? And the paint's easy.
Yeah, that's easy math.
it's paint and man hours.
But if it's 2 or 3 people
I
over
would-
3 hours.
If you want to try a rough estimate, I think you said you're going to save about 20 hours, right, for 4 guys?
Just
And
for
they're doing
setup
about
alone, yeah.
$20 an hour, and you're doing it for.
No, that's full-time.
For 10 weeks. So that's like 16,000.
But we're not gonna,
It's for
they're a
full-time.
full-time person.
Yeah, what are they gonna do instead?
Correct.
Well, what are the part-timers gonna do instead?
Yeah,
That's the
right, you
point.
have a lot of part-time grounds, so maybe 16.
So would you lose a part-timer? Is that what you're saying? You know what I mean? It's-
Yeah.
We're not gonna lose anybody or save any money.
Yeah. I also forgot to mention, the fields look perfect. The lines are dead straight. The circles are perfect. It looks good. And if Newington has one and Berlin has one, we're better than both of them.
We gotta be better.
That's all I'm saying.
No, it looks.
I don't want
I agree
to
with you.
belabor it, but they're,
Yeah,
looks
the
good.
thing-
it's
the
worth
thi-
the investment,
the
in my
thi-
opinion.
The thing about efficiency gains is like you have to always, you're not gonna cut headcount. It's gonna be a soft saving essentially, and you can live with a soft saving, then, then you do it. That's it.
I think we need to advance to your point,
Yeah,
too.
that's it. I mean, there's not gonna be any like hard savings on this, like, except for the paint,
That's it.
so.
Correct.
Well, the good news, on rainy days, when you don't have to pay the part-timers, right?
Well, they're not part-timers,
Yeah,
they're
they're
full-timers.
Well, yeah, but the part-timers,
the part-timers are the ones that are painting it right
part-timers
now.
have to work more to get these things done. Even though a part-timer's not doing it,
That thing won't get stuck in the rain either. It's crazy.
will it work in the rain?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't think there's anything
I'm
else.
saying, when you lose a lot of, a couple days because of rain, the
you have,
part-timers come in and work more to make up for the work that wasn't done during those days. So
Do we
now
have
you
anything
wouldn't
else in
have
there?
to
Did you put in a
have the
truck?
increased hours.
Put in a truck?
Oh, yeah,
Lawnmower
truck
was-
88. Yeah, we do have we wanted to put in a lease for truck 88. That is our truck that has a dump body on it. I don't have my sheet that has, all of our mileage and years in front of me. It's at my desk. But truck 88's on the, I think it's on the verge of being redlined. So it does need replaced.
Is that a lease cost?
Yes, it is.
That would be a lease, yeah.
Truck body is at least?
Is it a-
The truck
What is it?
itself, it's gonna be
It's a whole truck?
Yeah, it's a
Right.
truck, yeah.
what
But that's
type
the
of
truck that we use for the dump body.
What type of truck, you know? Or
Think we did a-
what style,
Did he do a 350?
We tried a 350.
with a dump?
Yep.
Yeah.
Was there also like a lawnmower on there or something too?
No, those are continued leases.
It's a lease from
Right.
previous, and, okay.
Yes. So the new items for him is the truck and the robotic painter.
And just to be clear, the that mower, once the lease is done, we still retain it,
Yes.
Absolutely.
okay.
But what we would like to do, and it's not in there, I noticed it not being in there, but is continue and get another mower.
But that
So-
would be in next year's.
Next
but
year.
That would be next year.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
To
But yes,
replace
once,
probably an old one that we have to,
the one that
put
we
up
have
next year.
that we've had for 10 years. So essentially what we have is we have a good system in place where we have a 5-year lease on a mower. When that mower's done, we own it. We continue to use it. We buy another one. So we have 2 now. And the one that was 10 years old before this one, we take to auction, we sell, and then, we I think we got probably 18 or 19 grand for the last one that was
Yeah, you did.
10 years old.
Yeah, 18.
And then we take that money and we put it back into the garage. So it's just it's always an ongoing thing. And then I know that one of the big hot button things has always been, well, regionalization, what can we do with other towns? Like, it helps when you have a backup mower because we have lent ours to Berlin. And there's been times where we've been down to, for whatever reason, repairs or, a line or whatever. Berlin's let us use theirs. So we do have a
Reciprocation.
correct. So that's why we do that with the lease. And there's a lot of new members on the council, so I just wanted you guys to understand that.
No, Walt does a great job with the equipment.
He does a fantastic job.
Unbelievable, yeah.
The reality of it, everyone, is that the way things are made these days, they're not made as sturdy as they were 25, 30 years ago. That's
pretty
just-
sure my snowblower is from the 70s. But the ones you get now don't last.
Yeah, my Briggs and Stratton's runs great.
All right, any other last stuff for Craig?
Just a really big thank you for what you're doing with the program. We offer wonderful stuff here in town, and you're doing a lot of great work for us. And even to Councilor Whalen and Councilor Savigny's point, you're doing a great job on keeping the budget right where you need it to be. Really appreciate what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Sorry, the tennis court upgrade, is that under Craig or is that under?
Board of Ed.
BOE.
Oh, that's a Board of Ed tennis.
That was a good trade.
Yeah.
You take the pool, they take the tennis court. I don't know if that's loaded. That's a loaded trade. No. All right, thanks, Craig.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great night. We're not done yet.
He's pulling back.
You're good.
Sorry. I'm muted for a little while.
Facilities.
It's done.
What's on there?
How you doing? Phil Sear, Director of Facilities, IT, and Custodial Division.
Thanks, Phil.
I'll be doing the facilities and custodial, and then John Nowakowski, the IT manager, will come up and do the IT. I'm not going to take as long as my fellow employee, but I'll go right into the goals. Goal 1, staff capturing hours and costs on work orders. It's basically just to complete data, so we can pull it up in the future to see cost of material or labor at that time. We reached the estimate was 90. We reached 92%, and we're going to close it for this next upcoming budget. Goal 2, capturing data of work orders completed in a week's time after tablet purchases. And all these are following the priorities and issues list. Number 8 would be town and facilities. continue efforts to maintain and sustain efficiencies and make building improvements in a timely, cost-effective manner. So this, the estimate was 76%, and we reached 76%. It's something I'm going to keep open, and I'm estimating for 80% next year. So that, what that does, so we're a service group, and we provide service to the town employees, not necessarily directly to, the town residents. My philosophy is if we are efficient in our completing our work orders on time, it's efficient for our customer, which is the town employees. And that's the thinking. Goal 3 is closed. It was the RLE Eversource lighting and mechanical equipment replacement. For the new people on the council, we undertook a project that we replaced all of the old, they're called HID, multi-vapor type lamps, incandescent for the fields, Maxwell and Elm Ridge, and we also included the high school field as well. We also had the opportunity to change out old rooftop equipment. It was a sponsored, well, it actually found information through CCM, a webinar, and basically it was just to kind of explain. The construction industry is going to recognize LED lighting going forward, not incandescent lighting or even fluorescent, which we don't have any, by the way. So as a result, the existing field lighting with the 1,500 watt incandescent lamps and valves is no longer be manufactured. So then if these things start going out, we won't be able to replace them, and then we'll have our fields in the dark. So in addition, LED lighting rebates and incentives will be eliminated, and this is actually in 2024. We are using Eversource's 0% financing, okay, for what, 6 years?
Mm-hmm, yep.
On-bill payments, okay, so there was no out-of-pocket. And in addition, there was a question that we asked about using solar credits from the town solar farm if needed to pay the payments on a yearly basis. I'm not sure if I'll get you in trouble by mentioning that. But
That's okay,
Are
we'll
they
talk about
allowing
it.
that now? They're allowing that now?
Yes, it's worked well, because these particular charges go on the individual's bill. So for example, you change the unit on this building, so the electric bill for this building will have the RLE charge directly to this bill. So this has been allowing us to absorb some of those credits that we couldn't get reimbursement by check for. So it's actually worked out quite well.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a concern, right?
Yeah. Right, it's still a concern.
Still an ongoing
It'll end after a couple of years, and it hasn't absorbed all of it, but it's definitely made a larger dent than what we had.
So we were able to, take advantage of rebates and incentives before they went away, because the incentive was for people to buy the LEDs and then put them in. But now that it's, now that incandescent lighting is no longer manufactured, it's, it was a time to jump on this and take advantage. Again, the lighting package locations, it was Elm Ridge Park Fields, softball field, baseball field, the basketball court, lower parking lot, Maxwell Park, both soccer field, and I'll call it a multi-use field, the cricket field and baseball, or soccer. Tennis court and basketball court there as well, and the high school field. The equipment, we were able to change out 4 hanging, 4-stair gas furnaces, which were at the time 25 to 30 years old, now brand new. High efficiency hot water heaters, heat pumps at the library, town garage, and parks garage. It's a type of water heater that there's a fan in there, and they take ambient air to warm up before electricity has to kick in to get it to, the 110, 120 degree. So, that's your savings, usage savings. Boiler pipe insulation at firehouses 1, 2, and 3. 3 major rooftop units here in our penthouse. So above us, our units sit 1, 2, and then 3 right outside this window here. Our boiler room is also up there. So if anybody wants to build a building, never put a boiler room on the roof. But it is what it is. But it was 3 conventional gas boilers. Now they're condensing boilers, more efficient. And a chiller at the police department. It's outside near our brand new generator that we just put in with a grant. With that, task 4, tracks changes made, or goal 4, I'm sorry, goal 4. Track changes made in the automation system, suggested again by a company that Eversource had to see if it's feasible. So when the grid gets taxed during summer, they would come in and get into your automation systems, the buildings that have automation, and then tweak temperatures and sensors to see if we could bring load down, to see if they can take as much load off of their grid system. So it was a pilot. So for us to sign on, and as an incentive, they gave us an engineered audit, energy audit for the automation buildings, as well as I'm trying to think of what else the other one, but incentives as far as whatever usage was saved in payments. So we made about $2,000. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was to see if it was feasible for other companies or other towns, to buy in to see if it was a good means to reduce load for them. So with that, there was about 80 suggested changes, okay? The estimate was to review and try to tackle 75% of that. We made it up to about 72% of the task that they suggested, most of it low-hanging fruit. The ones that were that would cost, it just wasn't, we wouldn't get a payback, a bang for our buck, so it wasn't really worth doing. So, and then 12 of those 80 changes implemented, we prioritized, and we got about 11 done. So, goal 5 is to track PM work orders. So goal 2 was to track regular work orders that come in from customer base, customer base type of work orders. This is part of the PM program. So what this does is, what it will do is, not force, but have my staff complete PMs in a month's time, okay? The example of how many we have over 1,900 PMs for all our different mechanical equipment pieces, motors, belts, and sensors again, lighting, there's just extinguisher, inspections, elevator inspections, and, fire inspections, fire system inspections. So we're also going to include the custodians as well. So when I do the custodial portion, you'll see that it just referred to, the facilities goals. But we're incorporating them in their routines on a weekly, monthly basis. And right now, there's no data, but based on data, as far as right now, the rate is at 80%. So that's 80% work orders being completed in a month's time, and the estimate is 85. So that's my goals. Any questions?
Nope.
Scrolled you right into the budget.
All right. So,
I just wanted to point out for clarification on this particular page, which is facilities, that shows part-time going from 0 to 60. That is a data entry error. You'll see it appears in the custodial, which is a true home for that. So in our plans for how to go with the budget, this is a $60,000, give it back on the table. So, sorry, Phil.
oh, it's okay.
So,
He
Clarification.
got excited. I said, no, you don't have it. It was our mistake.
So is that just, it was a person that's under the wrong section?
Correct.
Okay.
in there twice, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
duplicated.
basically, it was duplicated in the facilities, but it should only stayed in
Yep.
the.
Okay.
Yep.
So 426 is the real proposed,
That's right.
okay.
Okay, so,
You were in trouble otherwise.
yeah, I was under the gun.
Yeah. I saved you.
So, service contracts, that's up. One, because of the labor increases of the vendors who provide those services for us. And what was new was the HAZCOM OSHA compliant management. That's a component that 5 departments are going to pay for.
Yes.
We had an OSHA audit a year ago. And everything, equipment-wise and procedures, were safe. It was the data that wasn't collected. Basically, there was collection of data, but it wasn't good enough to OSHA. So our training was done by Kerma, our insurance company, because there's no cost. They'll come in for free and do the same things that OSHA requires, but they don't recognize the insurance company's training. So we incurred fines, most of them because of that. It was almost like $26,000. And it was like, what, And then most of it was, just not having our paperwork ducks in a row. So the other items that they picked while they were here, we trailed them, we had a basically make-believe leash, follow them around. So anything that they did find, we corrected right then and there. They mentioned the citing, okay, and an amount, but they didn't charge us, okay, and that's what reduced that 26 to actually to, I want to say about 8,000 that we had to pay, roughly. So because of that, in the future, we don't have that same, with the same issues, and we have a compliance company that will help us with the training, paperwork. Yeah, if Dana was here, there's more to it, but,
You're good.
okay. Everything else is pretty much flat, except for building improvements. So 7 years ago, when I took, the facilities director's job, I inherited about $90,000. And with that, I would itemize, prioritize different projects. The projects are based on 2016 condition assessment that was done by an engineering group that came in and assessed all our buildings. They listed all of our equipment. They listed ceilings and floors and windows, doors. And they put a longevity replacement value to it. So I take that in September in preparation for my budget, and I tour the buildings and I try to find, and I look at what needs to be done. I look at what they suggested because of longevity, replacement factor. Not everything needs to be replaced on the dates or years that it says, but it's a 30-year CIP plan. I know we only do a 5, but I use this yearly to check to see, what the needs are. So, and that's something that helps build my, 5-year CIP going forward.
Phil, is that the DUDE program?
Yes. Yep, that's our
Is it- I mean,
work order program.
It started, what, 7 years ago?
Oh, at least.
About when you, has it been working, projecting things accurately? Or are you finding things that it should have recognized and?
Well, it lists everything. It's very detailed. But there are things that is coming up this year, but we should have started replacing them 10 years ago based on how old it was, and that's garage doors, garage door motors, not the doors themselves. That's another animal. But it's, so this year, in one of my line items is to replace the motor heads on all 3 firehouses.
Right.
So that was in, the assessments, but 10 years ago. But based on inspections every year, we were able to push it off. Now, the brains on the head itself, obsolete. So when those go, we can't get parts. So now, you're scrambling to try to repair it. So, so again, it's in this year's building improvement. Did I answer your question, John?
Yeah, it does, thanks.
How long is the life of those motors, do you think?
Industry standards is 20 years.
Okay.
They were put in before I was here, and I've been here for 24 years. So, it's time. And each firehouse has doors work in a different way. Some are timers when they leave and the door closes behind them. Some they have to hit the button. So we're going to try to get them all, the same way. Let me see what else.
It's probably something that you don't want to have malfunction.
No,
because
no.
you're
Yeah,
using it because you need to use it right then.
Yeah, no, we have to repair it as soon as, they are good only because sometimes you can't get a contractor out, let's say, to repair. They will revamp their parking so they can get out. Until we could repair the door. But within a day, we usually get the door repaired.
Do you want to do questions on this page before custodial?
Yeah.
Does that keep you? Okay.
Anybody have anything else on building maintenance?
What's the fountain repair? What's going on with that fountain?
I'm sorry? Oh, out here.
Town hall fountain.
So, well, if you notice, probably quite a few years back, the lights went out. So, again, like I said, never put a boiler up on a roof, never put lights in water. But it's, it broke, the seal is just deteriorated and what, so we isolated that out of the way. So, now what's happening is we have a valve, gate valve that keeps the water inside, okay? Well, we can't seat the gate valve all the way, water escapes. So, and there's a cost to it because we gotta dig, we gotta replace the gate valve, and while the ground's open, we might as well replace from point A to point B, to a stormwater drain that's in the driveway. Doing that, we'll also replace the pump, the aeration, decoration pump, if you will, and we could do, you know, the lights as well. I'm hesitant on putting lights, I'd rather not, because then we never would have that problem going forward, but, because they just won't, they won't last.
And the firehouse prepping and painting hose tower, that's the inside, right?
Yes, that's the inside.
Like the liner on the inside
Yeah,
of that
so
tower.
the inside of that hose tower hasn't been touched since, the building is 1965 build. It probably hasn't been touched since then. What's happening, it's flaking. The metal sill up top is also flaking. They do use the tower. They lift hoses. There's a hoist at the top of the tower. They lift hoses to dry, repair, do maintenance on. And there's, none of our buildings have adequate storage. They use the area as storage as well, but, you know, if you look up and this stuff happens to fall down, it's a hazard, you know, so it's time, and that's what,
It probably preserves because is it just painting onto brick? Or
it's
what's on the
block.
inside?
Yeah, center block.
Cinder blocks on the inside?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to strip, we're gonna have to seal, primer, and then paint.
Anything else, anybody? All right. Custodial? Okay, moving on.
You want me to do CIP now or after custodial?
We'll do after. I'll let you do custodial, yeah.
Okay, so custodial.
I change your gears, I can jump ahead.
What's that?
I said, you're okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm too tall. I need to be shorter. So the goals are, I already explained that in the facilities portion. And the custodial budget is basically flat. It hasn't been raised at all except for salaries. If anybody has any questions.
Phil, what would the damage be if you didn't get the part-time position for custodial? Would there be an overtime impact?
We're not putting in for a part-time. They're already there.
There's just increased hours from the 60 to the 80.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's right.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this one, not a lot to talk about when it all stays the same, I guess.
That's good, right?
I just think it's amazing the job that they do. I know I'm at the community center all the time, but I know all the buildings, they're well-maintained and
They're good.
You see a lot of the same people.
same people.
They've been
and
here for
they're-
a while.
They're personable.
Very nice.
Yep.
They interact with the
They are.
public, so.
I got, you know, I do
Kudos.
have the best crew.
They're great. They are really good, yes.
And dedicated, and they get it. They, you know, they work hard. And that's facilities as well, my trade staff.
Yeah. All right.
So I believe, Phil, for you, for CIP, you have the truck, the four-wheel drive utility body
Yes.
vehicle. The other items are
So
recurring.
we don't have it anymore. It's in Ford Heaven.
Ford Heaven.
It was a 2001. We were the third hand-me-down. We put in for it last year, okay, and it was denied. Last year, I'm not sure if I handed out pictures, but I do have pictures of the rust in the bins and the tools falling out on the road, you know, that sort of thing. But right now, we're borrowing. So Walt was gracious enough to let us borrow a flatbed pickup that he had. But when it came to plowing, we had to give it back, and, so he could plow. We currently have it now, but he's gonna need it back once the seasonal part-timers, come back in. He needs wheels for them to get around. So, we can't use a pool car. This is for Mike Carpenter, by the way. So, yeah, he needs bins for tools and materials, and so you can't use a pool car. What you can end up doing is using my vehicle that I use, because I'm all over the place in all our buildings, until hopefully we get, a vehicle. And it's a utility body, utility body, but it's a 250. We could certainly put a plow package on the front of it so they can use it for plowing in the winter if they need to, if they have, a pickup either at the highway or parks that, that breaks down. It could be used for backup as well.
So that's the 20,000?
Yeah.
That's a lease.
That's a
year.
5-year lease, right?
Okay. I was gonna say, where are you finding
It'd be
it?
4.
4-year lease.
Yeah,
Showing, is
80,000.
it 4 or is it showing 3?
Three.
Where's it show 3?
What did you have?
It would be 4.
It's 4, it's this one here. It's a 4-wheel drive utility body truck.
Facilities building maintenance, utility van replace, red line 2001. I'm showing 3 years.
Are you on my page here or somewhere?
I'm on page 245 of the,
I don't have
5-year plan.
pages. Tell me where.
Says the same on ours, 257
Yeah.
page with the original book,
So
still 3 years.
the price is 80,000-ish,
Okay.
So $20,000 a year for the next 4 years?
4 years.
4.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And
there it is
that's
there.
with
That-
that outfitted,
Yes,
with the utility?
with the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
ladder
utility.
rack.
Yeah. Does it have to be a 4-wheel drive truck? Or would like a transit van type thing work for handy?
Yeah, but a larger one. My other two.
Because you need
some
ladder
AC
and stuff?
mechanic- I'm sorry?
Because you would need like ladder. and
Yeah,
stuff
well,
like
you
that.
could put a ladder rack on a
Yeah.
transit, but it's gotta be the larger ones. I left it up to the, my, employee and ask him what would be more efficient for you, and he said a utility body type. And it's got a pickup back as well.
Yeah.
So he can, he can bring sheets of, 4x8 sheets of plywood and sheet rock or studs or whatever, so, with the back open.
All right. Anything else around capital improvement?
that's
CIP for facilities?
IT.
All right. IT.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks,
Thank
Phil.
you, appreciate it.
Man, I was hoping to find out where I could get a $20,000 pickup truck.
That's for one wheel.
I know, that's true. It's only for a
quarter
quarter.
of
It's
it.
only for a quarter of the truck.
Yeah, that's Messino.
I sell you mine, 20,000.
You might be able to fetch 20 for yours.
Do they make utility
a lot.
bodied unicycles?
All right.
Hold on, I lost my page. We used to have you, and I've got you down there.
Hi, John Nowakowski, IT manager. Starting with the goals, we did have to pivot away from certain goals this year due to price increases across a large portion of hardware. Specifically, there's a memory shortage that has been in full effect. Prices have, in some cases, at least tripled, if not quadrupled, as far as RAM shortages. A lot of that is attributable to the AI, bubble at this point. Unfortunately, there's been companies that have actually gotten out of the commercial RAM market because they found it more profitable to sell to these companies. So we did not do any switches or access points. Instead, we opted to get in more storage capacity. That unfortunately ran our technology equipment budget over, but it was pay $20,000 now or $25,000 to $30,000 in July. So I had to make a tough decision on that one, but it seemed like that was a better opportunity for the entire town. Let me see. We did push off training for Microsoft 365 in conversations I've had with the operational director in regards to putting in more important things like our IT service desk. That is a brand new, as of, it went live October. And that's a living, breathing entity. It incorporates a lot of our inventory, service calls, end users can check the status of all their tickets and things like that. We're really happy with the way it's performing, and it's a constantly evolving piece of information that is available to the entire staff. In addition to that, we also implemented a security information and event management system. That is a key component, not only in cyber insurance, as that is a checkbox item for cyber insurance, but it is also key in the fact that we have a lot of data silos. We have firewalls, we have servers, we have endpoint management. All those generate logs, all those generate information. The SIM, as it's called, helps to correlate all that. And it's something that we've also been working heavily with. And it helps to improve what we focus on as far as security goes. That way, instead of saying, well, we've got this firewall log and this log over here, and I showed something here, I showed something here, and we looked at it and we go like, oh, okay, maybe that's nothing, but I've looked at it twice. Now, with that managed service, it comes back and says, hey, you know what? Yeah, that's just white noise, right? We don't need to look at that. But this over here that you probably wouldn't have noticed because it was coming in so slowly, that's actually something we need to look at. So it's been a godsend as far as helping us to maintain our security posture. Some of the other things we have, ongoing computer refreshes. And with that, also, we implement new sign-in procedures. So Windows Hello for Business takes the concept of a password that you use for everything and moves it down to a PIN that's unique to the device. It helps with security. It helps to implement tighter controls within our identity provider, which is Microsoft 365. So with that, we create conditional access rules that say, you know what, Phil just logged in over here, and 10 minutes later he logged in at China. Yeah, no, we're not allowing the login from China. All right. I mean, you know, time portals are a thing, I guess. You know, it depends on which movies you like, but yeah. So that's really where we've been kind of pushing our efforts. Upcoming goals, we have servers that need to be replaced. And unfortunately, because of what's happening with the pricing, you'll see increases in the technology equipment line. And I'm not even sure if that's enough, to be honest with you. When we did this, you know, several months ago, prices just have not, they've slightly stabilized, but some other things you might notice, there was an increase in the software line item. One of our maintenance contracts actually has a software component that goes along with it, so we just kind of married the whole thing into one bucket, since they technically only send us one invoice. Another thing is our Microsoft costs are increasing. Unfortunately, every vendor has jumped on the, hey, let's charge more bandwagon.
Very popular bandwagon.
Yes, it is. Any questions?
Oh, I wanted to point out, though, sorry, on the telephone, sorry about that one. There's is an entry error here. We had it corrected, like, it's almost like simultaneously with the printing of this upload and then our staff reviewing. So that was a $21,000. Should be a contract service. It was not John's communication. Just the vendor name looked similar. So
So the-
he didn't
I'm
blow
sorry,
the
Mom, is
budget,
that 80?
21,000.
The 80,000, is that the 80,000?
Correct.
But that's correct? Or it should be 100?
It's, this year to date should be 80, not 100.
Oh, okay, got it. Got it, okay.
Sorry about that. So that's why he's still requesting 80, because that is a realistic number.
Question for the photocopier. I can see that, it's about 32,000. That's for the maintenance or that's for the actual machinery?
For the photocopier, that is, part of that is for the lease. Part of that is for, cost per print.
That's the maintenance, right?
Yes.
John, one of the things that, we discussed is about efficiencies and whether they're between departments in town hall or other towns or whatever. Do you hear anything from Board of Ed about anything that, from your perspective, can be shared?
So the Board of Ed, they have a completely different direction that they go in. We use Microsoft 365, they use Google Workspace. They have E-rate, we don't. There's a lot of back and forth as to what we could possibly do. We've talked about sharing vendors and things like that, but even the vendors will say, well, that's education, so we have different contracts for them. Your municipality, we have different contracts for you. I've talked about possibility of maybe sharing the firewall or something like that, but a lot of times, because of the way that the external vendors structure things, it doesn't get feasible from a budgeting standpoint.
Okay, thanks.
To that end, we do share some server hardware with them, right? Like they house some stuff on server that we share, and that's one of the ones that
they do have access for our to our server room. So anything that they need within this building, they can store it and run it in here on their own networks. But we don't share the actual compute resources.
Okay, because is that you had talked about? That's something the hardware for a server is something that we've got to replace in the pretty near future, correct? Is it
Yes.
the same hardware that they're using as well?
No.
It's not. Okay. Because I think they have similar concerns around their own
I'm
server
sure they
hardware.
do. We use different virtualization systems and things like that.
Is that potentially an area that we could, if we both have to go out for similar hardware at the same time?
We'd have to be careful with that. The police department has a lot of criminal justice information on those servers. And any time that we get near that information, we run serious risk of the police actually losing access to certain state databases. So we want to be very careful when we try and share compute and storage resources like that.
But so is the ones that the police department uses, that's on our side, not
Yes.
Board of Ed?
Correct.
Right? Okay. And in just for a broader question, we don't have specifically a director of IT anymore. And there's some savings there because now everything falls under facilities as well. Is that system working out generally?
Yes.
All right.
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about the hardware needs on the server side and the purchasing that you've done this year in response to, frankly, national and international realities. Thank you for making the purchasing you did, because looking at what's happening, commercial lines are moving over to just data center RAM production. And on top of that, other international pressures on the system lend me to think that, yeah, if we have server issues right now, we should be all over that. We should get that done now while we can, because those prices are just going up. And at such an exponential rate that, like, quite literally, the time that we're going over this budget process, these prices may go up significantly. And so if we have server needs, my recommendation is that we fulfill them and get it done quickly.
And quite honestly, in response to that, my vendors have told me that any pricing we've gotten, they can hold it for sometimes a week, man.
Yeah, like a week, yeah, that's what.
It's as close to, I mean, I will go ahead and call it, it's a crisis in that space, and it's bleeding over into municipal governments across the state. And so it's one of those places where we talk about efficiencies a lot in general, but right now, this is what do we need, and we need to get it.
Yes.
Okay.
Good. Any other?
Could you just go over the technical equipment, your line items there?
Sure. Technical equipment, the biggest thing within that is actually servers.
Did we not budget for them earlier, or is this the new software we're using? It says zeros. And then
No, that's because previously that had been a different line item. Previously that had been wireless and access point upgrades. So because this is a new budget and a new budget sheet, servers were not a part of that.
What were they under then before? You had to have them under something, correct?
No, that line item changes frequently. This year we might need, I try and rotate it as much as I can, so that way we're not constantly being caught with a big, rise and fall within the budget. So I try and work it so that, every 5 years, we need to replace this, we need to do this, we need to do that.
What about the computer line item? That's gone down?
Yes, so a lot of the computer line item, there was a big push towards Windows 11 because Windows 10 went end of life. A lot of our equipment just couldn't support Windows 11. So we pushed hard the last few years to actually increase the amount of PCs we were purchasing. And now we're back down into a maintenance. We didn't replace everything. There are still some older computers that technically ran Windows 11, but need to be replaced still. So we wanted to make sure we targeted those machines that would not actually run Windows 11 first.
What about the detail line item there? What's that?
Other equipment, that's just miscellaneous stuff. That's I don't know why it came out under details, to be honest with you.
I think that was waiting for you to give it a name.
Oh.
There we go.
So miscellaneous, I suppose, would have done
Yeah.
fine.
But we're not budgeting for that.
I'm
Correct?
sorry?
We're not budgeting for it.
No, miscellaneous equipment. That is all one account. We're budgeting 1,200 for it.
It runs up.
I think it was just, under other equipment, it was called details last year. This year, it's called miscellaneous. And under computers, it was called details, and last year and this year, it's called annual computer replacement for outdated computers.
Yes. It has a lot to do with the
That's
new
why
system.
it's zero versus.
That's why I don't like this, Mona.
You're going to love it next year,
This
I
budget.
promise. I'm going to
You
record.
tell me I'm gonna like
I'm
it,
gonna
I'm not
record
liking
me
it.
saying that.
In time, it's.
I understand that, Fran.
Thank you. Maybe next year. I'll like it.
Transparency and more
Well, we
data, it's a good day.
Well, we like that the numbers at the bottom are smaller as you go further on, at least.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you gotta look at the indents, whether it's indented
That's
or
right.
not.
I'm not following that yet, okay?
Yes. All right, any other questions around IT?
Oh, I think you did a great job, actually.
Thank you.
Thank you for keeping our computers and everything else running and making this meeting
Oh,
happen.
yeah,
too.
I guess one question I did have was, some other municipalities have had issues around like ransomware stuff, cyber attacks, stuff like this, and where they've had a lot of issues. Do we feel pretty confident that we're doing everything we can to not have that crisis?
So
Here?
everyone will have that crisis at some point in their existence. Probably at least 15 years ago, we lost it became when, not if. To the credit of the other towns, and as well as to what we do have a robust security staff. Part of that is also, those initiatives that we've done this year with the security information and event management and things like that. We do other things via policy, making sure that, Mona doesn't have the same access that I do, that Phil does, so that we only see and can interact with those things that are actually part of, or actually required to do our job. It's the principle of least privilege. So we've made that, that is a core of what we do. When we do new systems and things like that, one of the things we try and make sure is that how is it going to be exploited in normal use? And we try and mitigate around that. No one's foolproof. Best we can do is to try and contain as much as possible and increase our reaction time.
Yeah. All right, thank you. That's all I had. Anybody else got anything?
Thanks, John.
All right, yes.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
John.
Thank you.
And thanks, Phil. All right, I think that just about wraps it up for this evening.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right.